And good afternoon, everybody. Good morning. I forgot what time it was. I've been doing a lot of the classes at 1 o'clock, 4 o'clock, so I've been able to say good afternoon. Um, it's going to be weird because now I can really see myself. There's like a slight delay now. Have you noticed everything I'm saying? There's a slight delay. It's like those old foreign movies with the voiceovers. Hello. How are you today? Oh, what the? That was weird. Yeah, there's something with the camera. I feel like if you do certain motions, it's I don't know. There's some fireworks that comes up once in a while. If you do this,
Balloons.
it oh there we go. Sometimes it doesn't do it when I want to, but it'll do it. I was watching back one of the classes and I saw fireworks throughout. I must have moved my hands a lot like that, so I made fireworks. All right, let me start off with a song and we'll get into some playing here. Enough talking. Shut up, Robert. Okay, all right. There's three of me working here, me, myself, and I. Myself sometimes likes to talk too much, but me wants to play. All right, woohoo! Now at the very end, I was playing some of those notes because I was trying to find the right notes to the song. Anyway, a little "Hey, good, look at what you got cooking," and "Anytime." Remember those songs? All right, great songs. I use the style called Texas Blues if you have it, and just some of your style setup. So what I have a bunch of topics. I don't think I'm going to get to them all, but I was thinking to myself, what should I teach today? And my initial thoughts was a very long list. And I thought, well, this will just give me a reason to do another class, all right? And do different topics. So I'm going to start with something really basic. Last week, was last Thursday? Last Thursday, we talked about setups. And I spent a lot of time on general setups, style setups, category setups. Achoo!
Bless you.
I hope I can cut that out in the recording.
God bless you.
Or maybe I'll leave it, I don't know. I don't think I've ever sneezed on Zoom. It'll be a first time that I'll have a recording on Zoom on our YouTube channel where I sneezed. It's like, that's got to get millions of views. Okay. And then I talked about style setups, or I don't know if I said that, but for every one of the rhythm styles. Now, but I want to touch a little bit on rhythm styles first before I go into a couple other cool things that I think you should be doing with these models. Rhythm styles, music styles, and I tend to say rhythm a lot because for many years that's what Lowry called them, rhythm plus orchestration, rhythms, rhythms, rhythms. And then they've changed to the word music styles, okay? Which basically we're saying the same thing. And a music style is basically, country, Latin, bossa nova, cha-cha, ballad, 50s ballad, all those lists of music, those are called music styles, okay? So I'll start with Journey, and then I'll start with Fanfare and segue to Journey. And what I'm going to put up on the screen there is in your owner's manual. And you're welcome. So we have over here this little part of the organ, which is absolutely, to me, it's the most important part of the hobby, I would say, because for many years, any time we met someone new and we were teaching them and telling about recreational music making and how much fun it is and how easy, the first thing we always do, if I met someone for the first time and they walked into the store and they've never played, the first thing I even do before I even start talking is, maybe I'll build a little rapport with them first, but when I play, I pick a rhythm style and I just start playing one or two fingers. And the point is we try to get their attention and showing them that, hey, look how easy this is and how great it is. And that's why a lot of times we open up with a song because, you have a music style, you're kind of getting put in a good mood. So music styles, understanding how your music styles work, how to get to them. Maybe you'll know what I'm going to show you today, and I'm going to just kind of give you a sort of a different idea how to view these. So you have here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you have a Fanfare Journey, you have 6. You have 12 categories, okay? And on the Fanfare, each category represents 6 different styles of music. Okay, and we'll do that, and I'll show screen share something in a minute, and then on the Journey, you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 per category. Okay, so you have the same amount of buttons. They don't add any other buttons. It's just how the buttons work. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to screen share now on the what you should see coming your way is, let's see, what do I have here? That's Fanfare. Okay, so what you should be looking at this is the list of Fanfare styles. Okay, now this is right out of the owner's manual. So if you have your owner's manual nearby, it's page 53 on your owner's manual. Okay? So if you look at it, you'll see here, right? Can you see my little mouse moving there? Okay, all right, someone's shaking head, yes. All right. So you see where it says, right there, standards, traditional, country. That's the button that I pointed to on the organ. Okay? And what you're going to see here is a group 2. G2 represents group 2. Okay? So you have the button name for the category, and then G2. Now, I'll come back to the screen in just a second, but I'm just going to point it out. So right here, those are the button names, all right? And then right here, located right here on the screen, I'm sorry, not on the screen, right below those styles, there's 3 buttons, full band, pianos, guitars, and this button right there, that little round one, on the Fanfare will say Group 2. Okay? Let me just get here so my head's not chopped off. I got to get a second camera and a tripod, really. And it says Group 2. Okay, so what's going to happen is on the Fanfare, if you press standards, all right, you have a full band music style, a pianist, and a guitarist. All right, and so standards full band, the first one is Frank and the Count. It sounds like this. A lot of you are familiar with that one. That was even on our little easy 1, 2, and what have you. And if I keep the standard on and I go to pianist, it's going to give me a pianist style. In this case, it's called 2-beat piano. Okay, and if I do standards again in guitarist, it gives me a style that's very guitar in nature. Guitar swing in this case. Okay, now I'm not going to do it here, but I'm going to pretend I am because it works a little different here. But if I press the Group 2 button on the Fanfare and I do the exact same thing, you get a different full band. In this case, Smooth Foxtrot. Oops. Okay, and if I push pianist, I get Jazz Club. Pretty nice. I don't use that one a lot, but that's nice. Okay, and then if you press guitars, you get another one called Gypsy Rag in this case. So that's how the Group 2 works. Okay. Now let me pull that up on the screen so you could see that again. So you'll see when I press the standard button that you saw, if I had the full band, it was a Frank and the Count style. If I had the pianist button selected, it was a 2-beat piano. And if you had the guitarist, it was a guitar swing. Okay? And then when I press the Group 2 button, if I use the same buttons, they give me the 3 different styles.
Okay. Oh,
Okay?
yeah.
Now, and basically, that applies for every button, as you can see here. Now, let's talk a little bit about, before I get to you journey owners, let's talk about the pianist and guitarist style. So if you pick any style, that category, okay, and you have a pianist button selected or guitarist, the idea that is, when you think about full band, most people understand that, you know, that might be 8 musicians playing. It might be 4 musicians. It may be 10 musicians. A lot of musicians playing. Okay? The idea of the pianist and guitarist is their styles of music, and then when you just turn it on with just your style set up 0, it's going to sound just like a piano player playing that style of music. Okay? So, for example, you have your notepad down? Write this down. Somebody pick a style from the pianist category and say it. Don't just pick it, tell me. Anybody?
Ballad.
Say it again.
Ballad.
Ballad. So ballad. All right, so in the pianist ballad, you have heart songs. Oh, sorry. 50s love ballad and piano color. Okay? I'm going to put 50s ballad. All right? So write that down, 50s ballad. All right? Someone else pick another piano style. Anyone from this category here, this row.
Latin.
All right, she picked Latin here. So since she's writing, I guess she gets to choose the next one, right? She's doing some work for me. Now, out of the Latin, which one do you want to hear? This one or that one?
Tango.
Okay, tango. So we're doing tango. All right, write that down. because I'm going to pick it first, and then we're going to go to the organ and go through them. All right. Now in the guitarist category, somebody pick one from the guitarist. This row right here, Alberta. Soft country. Where is that? Country.
Gypsy Rag.
It's
All right. Someone
smooth.
said. All right. Someone said Gypsy Rag, and here I got a soft country. Where do you see? Oh, here we go. So soft country and Gypsy Rag. Okay. So we've got our 4 choices. Now I'm going to come over and do that. So the first one was what?
50s ballad.
Ballad.
50s ballad. All right. So I'm going to go to the ballad, and I'm going to go to the pianist category, and that would be on group 1 on the fanfare. Oh, my head's cut off again. And I'm just going to have style set up 0. Okay? Now I want you to listen to it. And I'll just play. I'm not going to play a whole song, but just listen to the beginning here. Now just listen to the band. It's mainly a piano player. Now there's a little bit of a bass in there too. And if I just play a few chords, all you hear is a piano player. And then you can just play, and typically you get just a piano sound. So on the upper keyboard, it always typically gives you a piano sound. And I'm going to say that's for most of them because I haven't gone through them all. On the lower right, you're going to get something else. And it's just going to be depending on what style you're choosing. Okay? Now here's what you're going to notice in all of the pianist and guitar styles. If you have style set up 0, that means 1 through 8 is not lit, any of those buttons. Just the initial style setup is on. Okay, and you pick whatever style you use on the pianist guitarist, you get, okay? Now what was the other one, the other pianist?
Tango.
Tango, and that was under the Latin. Okay, let me go there. So same thing, here's the introduction. Now we got a little more musicians in here, but let's listen to it after it gets started. Now here we got some accordions, and now let's play the melody and let's see what we get. Okay, what was the other guitar one? Gypsy Rag, and one was soft country. All right, let's go to Gypsy Rag. Now I forget what category that was. Oh, standards, guitarist. Now let's listen to that one. You hear just a guitar player in there. See if I remember how to play it. All right, and the soft country was under Smooth, was it?
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, there it is. Here's soft country. Let's see what that one does. Ooh, that's pretty. Now, most people would soft country, they play a country song. You can, let's see.
Oh, I like that.
You can actually play a lot of great slow songs with that, and you wouldn't, if I didn't tell you that was soft country, most people wouldn't realize that that's actually a country style. Now that's a minor chord on that. the rest without the music. But all right, I almost got carried away and started doing other stuff. So now, if you just pick another category with pianists, the same thing. Watch what happens when I just go to whatever this is. Let's see, piano offering, just piano. Now here's what many of the presets will do for you, okay? If you're using style setup 0, most of the time, it's either pianist or guitarist musician doing the accompaniment, and there's no drummer, okay? It's kind of just keeping it stripped down to a kind of just a piano player or guitar player, which is really nice. At any time, if you like the setup that you're using, like whatever I have on now, piano offering, and I want to bring in the drummer, you just reach up and hit your drum volume and increase it. Okay? Now, let me go back to 0. If you go to style setup number 1, a majority of the time, 1 does not turn on the drummer. Some of them do. And if it does, the band is still very soft and easy. There's not a lot happening in the background, okay? Now, sometimes 1 will put on a little bit of a hint of the drummer, and 2 sometimes does too. But the first 2 setups, now let's just try it here. Let's see what happens. Okay, so that's piano offering, style setup 0. Now let's listen to when I press 1 and 2. I pressed 1, nothing changed. This changes, but the band, the musicians didn't. So let's see. I've got now here's number 1. Let me see what happens when I push 2. Now this one did not turn on the drummer yet. But what will more than likely happen on 3 through 8, the drummer will come in. Now just listen to it. The drummer came in. There's more musicians sometimes. And if you go through any of the styles, let's see, let's go back to Gypsy Rag here on the guitarist, style setup 0. Okay, so we got him playing. Let me see what happens when we push 1. No drummer. Number 2, the drummer came in. Okay, so the point is that when you're using the pianist and guitarist styles, style setup 0, 99% of the time makes that style either a piano player or a guitar player. And at any time you want a drummer, you can just reach up and turn up your drummer. If you're using the setups here, number 1, most of the time does not turn on the drummer. Okay? And number 2, some of the time it does. And usually the drummer's still soft. And it'll kind of keep that purity of the piano or guitar player playing. And then what I've found so far in all the ones that I was trying earlier, 3 to number 8, while you're using a rhythm, always has a drummer. And then keep this in mind, even though the band doesn't change on 1 and 2 sometimes, this is changing if you're using the setups, the style setups. Okay? So this is always changing for you. Now, I'm going to, for you journey owners, there's a few out there have some journeys.
Yes.
So all of the styles in the Fanfare obviously are in the journey, but they're a little bit, getting to them is just slightly different. Not harder, just different. All right? Let's see if I get this right thing up. Okay. So if you're looking at your owner's manual on page 56 and 57, now your manual does not have these red boxes. I put those on there. And the reason why I'm talking about this, I actually had a student ask about these styles, and they were saying, it's not doing this and it's not doing, and it doesn't sound like a piano player. Okay? All right. So first of all, if you have a journey and you have your manual nearby, or if you're just looking at this, you'll see that the standards button, you see the top 2 rows here?
Robert,
Yes?
we're actually seeing a music style list for Fanfare.
Oh, okay. Let me try this then. You ready? I'm going to blame the technology. Now what do you see?
Yes.
Journey.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So on the top row here, the standards. So you'll see there, those top 2 rows there, there's not a group 2 button on the organ. What it is when you press standards, if you're on the full band button, all 4 of these show up on the screen. Okay?
Mhm.
All right. But the first 2 rows work the same way. Full band, pianist, guitarist, full band, pianist, guitarists. All right? Here's the one that I've had some students over the years, over the time, even recently, someone said, you know, I put on this mixed swing and it didn't sound like a piano player. Okay? So if you have your manual and you're on a button name here, the bottom 2 rows, okay, are not pianist and guitar styles.
Oh,
They are all full band styles.
on full band?
Full band, okay? And that's done intentionally because there's only so many pianist guitar styles you can put on an instrument. You make them all pianist guitar, they all start sounding the same. So they're actually all full band styles. Now what I'm going to do is put up another screen. Now this screen may happen from time to time. I'm just going to pick I don't know, whatever this is. And I'm going to push ending. If you have a rhythm, if you journey owners, you have a rhythm selected, and you just leave the screen as it is and let it play, and then hit the ending. When it's done and it goes away, this screen doesn't always come up. It's going to say, where is it? Do you see a picture of a window there?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're going to see it says Group 1, Group 2, Group 3, full band, Group 4. So the top 2 rows are all the styles like the Fanfare has it, okay? And then say, well, this will say full band and full band. So it doesn't matter if you're on a pianist or guitarist category. It's always going to be a full band style. So let me go back to the manual. So in case you're ever wondering, why is it not doing what I think it's supposed to be doing? So any category that you pick, okay? So for example, if I'm curious to know, well, I started with Texas Blues. Let's say Stand By You. That's in the pianist category, right? No, it's not a pianist. Remember, it's in the bottom 2. I'll do that.
Full band.
So I'm going to put gospel, and then on the screen, I'll just select on the pianist category, I'll put Stand By You, and then I'll pick one more, and then I'm going to go to the next topic, because I really want to do the next topic, lullaby, which is 3/4 on the pianist category, okay? See right there?
Yeah.
So that's just good to have, but your screen. Now that screen that I show you doesn't always show up, so you may not know. But for example, what was the first one that I said? Stand By You, thank you. All right. So I'm going to go to gospel and pianist, and I'm going to go down where it says Stand By You. And you'll notice it's got a piano player in it, but listen to the band. There's a guitar player, there's some strings in there, there's more than just a piano player. Let's listen to the ending. Doesn't sound like a piano player only, okay? So I just wanted to point that out because I just want to make sure you understand what you're getting. There's nothing worse than when you're pressing something and you expect something to happen and it doesn't happen, and then you can't figure out why. So, and believe it or not, when I was sitting here on the screen the other day, for the first time, I picked a rhythm and all four showed up. I played it. Obla D, for example, Obla D polka is on pianists. Okay? I'll play a little bit of that.
Oh, I love it.
Now when it's done, and when I don't press anything, I still, the list of the styles are there, and once that goes away, it goes group 1, group 2, group 3, full band, group 4. And I never really paid attention to that until recently. And I kind of knew what it did, but I didn't know it said that. That screen doesn't always show up. And then one more, waltz, was a lullaby on pianist. Well, that doesn't sound just like a piano player. And that's done intentionally.
That was cool.
I had a toy trumpet down here, by the way. I didn't feel like I wanted to use toy trumpet for that pretty song, but you... Anyway, I was just curious. So, now, in place of your group 2, there's an alter style. Now, let's make sure you understand what that is. Alter style does exactly what it says. So when you have a style on, it remains the same musical style. Whatever you're using, let's say I have mixed swing, okay? And all it does is it takes that band and it tells those band members to be the same band, but play a little differently. That's probably the easiest way to explain it. I'll put on alter style and, so in this case, if I was playing, put on alter style, okay, so that's a little bit about music styles for the both of you Fanfare journey owners. Now, one other thing I do want to start today is something that we encourage our elite model owners to do all the time. And that is, now, show of hands, let me put you on gallery mode here so I could see you all, or see the ones that have your speaker, your video on. How many of you, you're poking around on the buttons, you experiment, and you find a sound that you don't like? That happen?
Yeah.
We experiment, right? It's going to happen. How many times you do that, sometimes you find a sound that you do like?
Mm-hmm.
All right, because, you know, we encourage, press the buttons. Some people are afraid to press buttons. They may break it. Remember, there's a reason why there's a button on the organ. It's to be pressed. If all else fails, on the left side, you have a little button called home button. Okay? You press home, it's like bringing it back to home's your power-up setting. And so I always say experiment as much as possible. But what some students do is when they experiment and they find something they like, what do they typically do? Boy, I want to remember this. So they take a piece of paper out.
No, push the memory button.
Well, we'll get to that. They get a button. A lot of students, if they don't know how to do this, they take a notepad out, or in the song, if they have a song, they go, oh, I like this setup. I use this style with this tempo and that sound, and then you write it down. You mark up your music, or you put Post-its, or okay. And then sometimes I'll hear students say, you know, I wrote down everything that I pressed in that, and I can't get it back the exact same way that I had it. I can get close. Well, you have 8 presets here. Technically, there's a 9th, okay? It's 0. I don't even say technically. There is a 9th. You have 9 setups that you can store on the organ, okay? And Joni, correct me if I'm wrong or right, or tell me if I'm correct. And you can do that 20 times. Is it 20? Okay. You can save your own setups on the organ. Now, we're not going to get through the whole process, but I'll start with saving it on the organ first. Okay. So most of you are probably familiar. You've seen this button A on the left side of the organ. I know, Gene, you have A, B, C, D, E. You're spoiled. Okay. A is called a bank setup. Bank A and 1 through 9. If you press A and don't push a number, that's 0. So that's the 9th one, okay? If you don't do anything from the factory, A1 through 8 gives you, let me see if I have the, let me put on the, I have some setup saved in here. Bear with me a second. Let me put it to the factory setting. Do you know how to do the factory reset, folks?
Mm-mm.
Okay, I'll show you how to do it. So if I want to put it back to the factory, what you want to do is turn the organ off. Okay, take your right hand. You're going to use 5-finger. It's called a 5-finger reset. You go to the very far right of the keyboard, and you touch C, B, A. Skip the G, F, and E. Okay?
C, D, A, F, and E.
Yeah, top down, C, B, A, F, and E. And let's face it, folks, these are man-made products. They're computers. I have many phone calls that say, you know, I had this thing happen where it did this and that in the organ the other day, and I told them to do a reset, and it was fine and never happened again. Why is that? Why does it do that? It's a man-made product. They're computers. Everything has resets for a reason. My computer has a reset. My phone has a reset button. Everything has a reset for a reason. Okay? So in this case, I want to do it to bring the presets back to the factory. So I'm going to do CBA, F, and E. While you're holding those notes down, turn on the organ and wait. Don't let go. And the screen will say total reset. Now, do you hear that god-awful noise? You hear that? Okay. So little words of caution. If you're doing the reset, make sure your volume pedal's all the way down. Because when it comes up, it'll say total reset. But remember, you're holding these 5 notes down. That's not a good sound. I don't care. You could be the best musician in the world and hold those notes differently. It's still going to sound bad. So make sure your volume is all the way down. Otherwise, you're going to get a good scare. I've had some people that had their volume all the way up, turn off the organ. They did that, and they said, oh! All right, so now the organ's back to factory. Let me remember where I had my volume. Okay, that's where it should be. And by the way, side note here, I can't tell, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but this is a little bit of just a clarification here, and I forget what the word, disclaimer. This organ has this little plastic thing. The person that owned it never took it off, and they never took it off here. So if you see that and it looks kind of ugly, I left it on there. Okay, so that's not how they all look. All right. All right, so now the instrument's back to factory. When you push A, 0, and 1 through 8 from the factory, there are 9 different great organ combinations. Wow, some great sounds. Anyway, so that's from the factory. But if you want, when you're experimenting, if you find something you really like, you can save it on A, 0, 1 through 8. It means you got 9 ways to do it. When you get to the 8th one, or the 9th, and you come up with another great setup, you run out. Then the next step is, which we won't do today, is you can take those setups and save them in what's called an internal storage. And you have, let me see here, 20, oh, where you already got that answer. You can save 9 presets 20 times. So mathematically, it's a lot of presets, okay? So let's say I picked a style of music and I want to play, how about this style here? They're all so great. Oh, you know what? Here's one that I play a lot that I love. It's called Soliloquy. And Soliloquy. Now, if all else fails, some of you have the stylus feature. You could press stylus and go and search for them alphabetically. So I'm going to go to the S's. And by the way, if there's anything that I'm doing here, and you know, a lot of times we teach these classes and we say all these things, and I know everybody takes notes, and sometimes they go back and watch the recording, and you still just can't quite get it, call your personal assistant. If you don't know who your personal assistant is, let me know and we can get you one, okay? All right, so here's a soliloquy style, and I'm going to use style setup. But what I'm going to do is purposely change some of the sounds as I go. So I'm just going to start with this one here. Okay, and let's say I like just that. That's what the organ gave me, but I want to save it. All right, so all I have to do is this. This is where you want to write down. There's a button to the left that says Memorize. You press it. Okay? And when you press it, in the screen, something will come up and it'll say Memorizing 2. All right? Now in a minute, after I do a couple of these, I'm going to do something that won't hopefully get you motion sickness. Okay? But let me go through the steps first. Memorize. You picked letter A. So right now, the screen shows up and it says Memorizing 2, and it says Setup Number, and it defaults to 0. And then right below it, it says Style, No, Transpose, No. Okay? Now I'm going to say it, we're going to do it, and then I'm going to bring the camera a little closer. Okay? So at this point, I have to pick a number. A lot of people stay away from 0 unless there's a specific reason, but you can use that. I'm going to press 1 for the sake of this exercise. So I'm going to select the 1. So first thing I did was press Memorize.
Mm-hmm. Then A.
And then I pressed A, because you're saving it in A and one of the numbers. And then it comes up and it's basically saying what number do you want to save it on, and it defaulted to 0 at that time. And I pressed 1. Now right below it, it says Style, and it has the word No with 2 arrows pointing down. Okay? Just write this down because I'm going to bring the camera closer. We're going to do another example. And then next to it, it says Transpose with 2 arrows pointing up. All that means is it's asking you, do you want to save the music style along with it? Or are you just trying to save whatever sound you have on the top and the bottom? In this case, I like the sound and the rhythm that I chose. So I want to save that style. And to get it to say yes, I use the scroll arrow and I scroll it down 1. Because that's what it tells me to do. And now it says Style with. and then transpose no. If I press up, it'll say yes. In this case, I don't really care if it has the transpose. Okay? So I'll just leave it like that. And then the final thing you do is you press memorize to confirm it. And then in the screen, it says memorize to setup 1 with style, transpose no, and then it goes away. Okay? Now, let me do another sound. Let me just do something here. And I'm just going to pick my own. I'm going to experiment a little bit. I'll put some strings on. Let's see. How about strings with choir? Okay, I like that. Let me leave that there. Let me put on the altar style. I want that drummer a little louder. If you make an adjustment on the volumes too, when you're saving this, it'll save that. I'm sure you've had a style where you said that drummer's too loud, or that bass is too much, or this is that, and you can turn those volumes down. So when you're saving setups, you're not just saving the sound and the rhythm. You're saving the sound, the style if you choose, the volumes of everything. You're saving the tempo, so you don't have to remember that. Now, let's have a little fun here. Take you on a little, actually, let me do this. I got another app on my phone, so it's going to go away for a minute. Let me just open it up, because this camera I can zoom in. Just hope I don't get a phone call. When I use this app, if I get a phone call, it'll blur it temporarily. Okay, let me see if I can zoom in, and you tell me if you can see this. Oops, bear with me.
Yes.
Try not to get you sick here. Is those words, is that legible? Is it kind of blurry?
A little blurry, but
It's a little blurry. Okay, so when all else fails, plan C. Plan C is, this is going to be fun. Okay, you ready? Okay. Woo! Hold on. Got a long enough chord here. Okay. Oh, I'm making myself dizzy. Okay. I'll keep it as steady as I can. Okay?
yeah, it's good.
All right. I'm going to try to do this without moving. I'm going to memorize whatever I just did on the A2. So I'm going to press memorize. Do you see it come up on the screen?
Mm-hmm.
Now it's backwards to you guys, but on their side, they're seeing it correctly. It won't come up backwards on your screen. All right, now I'm going to push A. And you see it says set up 0 again. It always defaults to 0 no matter what.
Okay.
Then you have to choose the number that you want to save it on. In this case, I want to save it on number 2.
Okay.
See, so it changed.
Yeah.
Now right below it, see where it says style?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I want to save the style. Remember, I also told you I pressed alter style. That's part of the band. I made the drummer go up too. Okay? Oops, let me do that again. Memorize, A, 2. Okay, so I had the drummer volume I changed. I could change the volumes of my right hand, left, the bass, whatever. I don't want to have to remember all of that. It's a lot of work to remember. Even if you write it down, it's never always the same. Now I save with style. So right here, see the 2 arrows pointing? Let me try to do this back. See the arrows pointing down? So if I use the scroll arrow and I go down, watch it change. It says width.
Okay.
So right now, before I do anything, if I save this preset as it is, that's how it's going to save it on number A2 with the style. And that basically means save the volumes of everything, the tempo, not just your right, upper, and lower keyboard. Now, if I wanted to save the transpose, I just got to push the scroll arrow up, and you'll see it says width. Okay? Let me just go back down. Oops. Sorry. Scroll down to keep that width. If I want the transpose to change, I use the up arrow. I
Okay.
want to go back to no, I use the up arrow again. You see that?
Yeah.
Okay. And then I confirm it by pressing memorize. Now watch what happens when I press it. Memorize 2, setup number 2 with a style, no transpose. If you want to save the transpose, you can do that. Let's see, memorize A. We'll leave it on 0 this time. I want to save it with the style, so I go down. And I want to save the transpose, so I'm going to go up. If I change my mind, just go up again, okay? So it's just telling you that's the arrow you use to change it. And then I'm going to hit memorize, and it's saved.
Okay.
All right? So that's how you save setups on the instrument. Okay? The next time we get together, which will be very soon, and I say that because as long as I have this style of instrument, I'm going to take an opportunity to do the class while I have it, right? I'm going to show you, and I'll just put it on here as well. You can go a step further once you fill up all 9, and we'll do another class on this. So I'm just going to do it real quickly here. You go to this thing called bank storage, and you'll see it says load, rename, save. I want to save, so I press select, and then you can save this group into whatever number you want. You can save it. In this case, I have something there, or I can go to a blank one. And then you can go hit select. And at this point, you can title it, which I won't get into now. But if you don't, and you just leave it in the default and you hit select, now it saves whatever I saved plus whatever was there into group 2 onto the organ. Okay? Until we have our next class, I would encourage you to get with your PA on how to do that. So you can see it says saved. Okay? All right. I'm going to try to not make you dizzy when I come back here. And to do that,
Good.
wow, there you go. Look at my equipment that I have set up for you guys. That's a lot of equipment there. 2 carts, books, cords, microphones, monitors, speakers. In case you ever wonder how we do all of this stuff. Let me change this camera here temporarily so I don't make you dizzy while I put the camera back. I'm probably too late, right? Oh,
That wasn't bad.
I'm not good with, it seems like over the years I'm not very good with motion. Roller coaster rides, forget it. Back in my youth, I used to do roller coaster rides. My daughter, I'll tell you, she could do the most intense roller coaster rides, and she'd go over and over and over. You know that one that it spins around so fast, it's like a gravity thing? She did like 3 times in a row one time, and I just like, okay, that's enough. That can't be good. She would just, let me do it again. I couldn't handle it. Okay, get this back here. All right, well, so I covered 2 of the 4 potential topics today.
That was good.
And then I'll play one more song here for you. Before I go, let's see, hopefully I don't take a long time to answer the question. Are any questions about anything that I talked about today?
I do.
Yes, what's that?
You said that you have this similar class before. Did you record that one like last Thursday?
Last Thursday, what date was that? Whatever last Thursday date was. Yes, I did record it.
Okay.
And I'm not sure if it posted yet. Let me see. It's on our YouTube channel. And let me go to this here. All right. Can you see my web? You see that it says Zoom on there?
Yeah.
Okay. So Let me see here. Oh, bear with me. We have a lot of stuff on our YouTube channel. A lot of times the demos and yeah, so yeah, it was. It has not. It was the 7th. Let's see here.
Mm.
It was the 8th, August 8th.
Yeah,
August
8.
8th. I did record that, but I didn't post it yet, so I'll have to go back and post it. I'm glad you brought that up. Let's see let's see here. Let me go to my recordings here. Let me see if it's in my. On the 7th. Oh, there it is. Yeah, I have to download and upload that one. So just so you know,
Okay.
if you ever want to get to it, if you go, first of all, the easy way is to go to our website, and at the top, there's these little icons. The two common ones, the three common ones, should I say, is F for our Facebook. We do
Facebook,
post some,
okay.
okay, that's one thing you can follow us. But these last two here are the most important from the classes. So on this one is YouTube,
Oh, okay.
okay,
YouTube,
that little
okay.
square. If you go to the YouTube, everything that's on YouTube, you'll notice is basically it's free. So a lot of our product classes, demos, occasional some other classes, and it gets posted on here. Now it doesn't say it here because I'm already subscribed to my own channel, but it gives you an option somewhere on the page to subscribe, and if you subscribe to it, you'll get notified when these things get posted.
Oh, okay.
But I'm glad you brought that up because I think I actually forgot to
I
post.
kind of like to watch it, you know.
I forgot to post that one. I must have missed that one. If you go to Patreon, that little P, the line with the Patreon has all of the product classes and everything. And let's see here. Where is it? Fletcher Music. I don't know. I lost it, I guess. You go to
That's okay. I will go in there.
Patreon. So yours will show up. It'll look like this.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just put in. I think so. It'll look like this. No. That's the wrong one. I'm doing something wrong. You ever push the wrong thing on your computer?
Okay.
No, no one does. But if you can get to it with those links up the top,
Okay.
and
Yeah, I will try that.
yeah, and basically it's the channels are youtube.com/Fletcher Music Centers and patreon.com/Fletcher Music Centers. But if you choose the links at the top of our webpage, it'll bring you right to it. The reason why I didn't do it properly for me is because I'm logged in as a administrator, so it wants me to edit and put stuff on there. So that's why the view is slightly different. All right. Anyway, thank you for bringing that up because if that question get asked, I thought I already posted it. So
When do you think you can do it? When I can look at it?
when would you like it?
Well, if you tell me when, then I can look.
Today, you say?
No, not
You got
today.
it. Yes, ma'am. Probably right away because I forgot to do it, and I'm like,
Okay.
now I feel guilty. So I'm gonna later on this afternoon, I'm gonna go post it. And
Okay, thank you.
okay. I'll post. Well, this one this will show up next week in the feed. Okay.
Okay.
'Cause I've got a lot of others lined up in the row. All right. Let me finish off this with a quick little number for you. I hope you enjoyed today's class. I hope you learned something.
That was
If you learned
wonderful.
anything.
Yeah.
And if you have any questions afterwards, because a lot of times it happens after the class, going, I should have asked that, or I didn't think of that. Get with a personal assistant, please. We've got it. There's all of us are willing to help and educate you and learn you.
How do you get personal assistant?
Well, depends on where area you live. So most of the students have someone near their store. If they're not near a store, just let me know.
She's from DeSoto.
DeSoto. So I would probably say, talk to Joni.
Okay.
There, I just signed you a personal assistant. All right. So you guys should reach out with each other. Did I pronounce it right? Zdenka?
Yeah.
Zdenka. All right. Okay, let me find a song to finish up with. How about a little bit. You know what? I don't do this for fun. What the heck? Where is it? Pop. It's a fun little song. It's called Wipeout. So if you use this rhythm and then you hold the fill-in down and just change the chords, it's just like the band did it. I forget what band did it, but you'll get the idea. Here we go. Hold the fill-in, C chord, change it to F, or an F7, C, G, while I'm holding it. Fake it. I've already worked hard enough, so I don't want to work too hard anymore. One more time. All right. Well, thank you so much, everybody. And we hope you enjoyed this class. And keep an eye out for the emails. If you're not on email list, make sure you are, because this is how I announce these things. This class and last class wasn't original. It was kind of a last minute thing. And I did it because I figured, well, I have the org and I'm going to do as many classes as we can, because they're hard to come by. I think in Florida, they don't even have a Journey or
Oh,
Fanfare.
really?
Yeah, so while I have it, I wanted to teach. So anyway, thank you so much. Have a wonderful, joyous weekend. And as always, stay safe, keep playing music, and mwah, everybody.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
That was
Thank you
very
so
good.
much.
See you soon.
Okay.